Hello there, welcome. I'm Jim Peak and I'm here to help you understand and utilize AI even more. It's my mission to help you understand and put this to use for your creative efforts. Whether you're writing, creating content, making marketing materials such as emails, or you're building up a business. If you're feeling confused, you're not alone. And in fact, today I'm just going to be talking to you about how I used ChatGPT today in a way that really helped me get over some complications. So, do you ever feel like things are just a little bit too complicated in this world of technical stuff? Do you feel like, it's like unclear of what you need to be doing when you're trying to learn a new program, for example? So here's what happened to me recently. I recorded another video today using this very software that I'm using now, which allows me to have this large view of myself from the webcam here, and then share the screen with my browser. And then I can give you a little bit of a tour through one of the tools that we learn. But I learned afterwards, when reviewing the videos, that video and these other lives that I've done, the recordings of them, show a problem. As the video progresses, the video starts to freeze. My video, if this webcam, starts to get very choppy to the point where near the end, it's almost completely blocked up or frozen. So I decided, hey, why not ask ChatGPT about this? So I want to just walk you through this so you can have your radar open, have your mind ready and alert to listen for anything like that that's happening for you as well. If there's anything that you feel stuck on, you feel frustrated with, it could be Photoshop, it could be even just trying to process through your emails. It could be using some new software that you're just unfamiliar with, like this particular one. So I use the software called OBS for this. And I went to ChatGPT and I just said, be an OBS expert. I think that stands for Open Broadcasting System expert. And tell me which, if any, setting should I change in order to fix this video freezing problem? And then I describe the problem. When using OBS, my webcam view of myself seems to get choppier as the video goes. By the 5th or 6th minute, the frame rate or refresh rate is so slow, I'm frozen for long periods. And then I tell some of the stats that I found. Something called the power line frequency is 60 hertz. And then I repeat, be an OBS expert and tell me which, if any, of these settings I should change to fix this video freezing problem. And that's a little trick just to really help get excellent results from your prompts. State what you want in the beginning and then just copy and paste it and state it again at the end. And that tells ChatGPT that this is really important. It gives it more weight than all the details that you have. So you'll probably get even better results. So it has many tips that it gives me right off the bat, and I really love it. Right away it says check CPU usage, and it tells me a way to do that in this software. Open up a certain window and watch the CPU usage and make sure it's not too high. And then it says number 2, reduce output resolution and frames per second. And how to do this. So I went to settings, video, I did these technical steps, and I changed it to be a less high resolution. And then I also changed the frames per second from 60 to 30 as it recommended there. Now the other ones, numbers 3 on, were not so helpful, but that's okay. I had a couple things to try. 3, I couldn't really apply. I didn't want to go into my webcam and try to change settings. Plus, that's number 4. Plus, I don't have face tracking on this webcam. I don't have autofocus, auto exposure as far as I know. It's a pretty simple webcam. And number 5, it talked about that power line frequency that I had no idea what it was, but it said basically that's the correct setting in North America, so stick with it. And 6 and 7, 8 and 9 were not really ones that I was either interested in changing or they were applicable. So I decided to do what I could, and I wrote down what I did here. Okay, I told it. The output resolution was far higher, so I lowered that to 768 by something. However, this other resolution was equally high, and I left it there. And I didn't even give it a technically correct prompt. I'm just chatting with a friend, and I said, this is what I did. And it came back and said, okay, lowering the first resolution was great, but you also want to lower the other one. And it goes on to explain, and I didn't even bother reading that. I just said, okay, I'm going to go back and do that. And when I went, I realized that I was lowering the resolution too far. So I got it, both of them set, and I came back to ChatGPT and said, okay, both were 1920 by 1080, and I lowered them to 1280 by 720, and I reduced the frame rate. And then I just asked it, because of that first tip it said, make sure that your CPU usage, and forgive me if I'm getting too technical here, but if I am, just go along with it and enjoy this demonstration of having a conversation. And you can do the same thing. Even if you don't understand the terms, you can just type them in or talk them into ChatGPT. And of course, you can always, if you're interested, you could say, explain them to me. And if it's still too technical, you could say, explain them to me as if I were a high school student. And then if that's too technical, still say, explain them to me as if I were in 5th grade. You can try all sorts of different things to see if it makes sense, if you're interested in and curious in learning. But if not, you could just relay them into ChatGPT and do what it says to do. This is a total game changer. It's a total game changer for me and for millions of others who in the past were trying to figure these things out on their own, or go into certain websites and trying to piece together advice from different sources and figure out which ones apply to their situation. And now again, ChatGPT can be wrong. Sometimes it's like a crazy genius, but this is getting a conversation going, and it starts to unloose all the different things. So you remember that first step, it was make sure that the CPU usage was not too high. But it didn't tell me what is considered high CPU usage. So I decided to just ask it that. And it said, great steps so far. And then it gives me a range. Low CPU usage would be between 0 and 20%. And then moderate is 20 to 50%. High is 50 to 75%. And when I glanced at that, I said, oh, okay, good. That's not the problem. Because I'm watching the stats now, and we're hovering between 2 and 3, sometimes 3.7%. It's not bad. So that's good. It's ruling out probable causes. Okay, and then I say, now I see these two things that I'm looking at in this software that I don't really recognize. And it says, oh, and again, I don't even say, tell me what to do. I don't even tell it what to do. I don't tell it who to be. I'm just continuing the conversation. And I just say that I don't remember seeing these things before. And it says, oh, it sounds like you've enabled studio mode. And I go, oh, yes, I did. When I was trying some different things, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just experimenting, trying different things. I turned on studio mode. So I just disabled it, and bam, I was back to the view in the software that I was used to. Wouldn't that be great if when, say you're working in Photoshop or Lightroom or any other program that sometimes can feel a little too overwhelmingly complicated, you can just talk about it, and you know what? You can even take a picture of it. You can even, if you don't want to go through all the verbiage of trying to describe it, you can take a picture or you can even do a screen capture and just attach that using this little paper clip, and it will use OCR, optical character recognition, to read and understand what you're showing it to the best of its ability, and it is amazing. So try that out. I didn't have to do that here because it was pretty simple. And I just talked about, what I was doing, and I said, yes, that was it. Thank you for telling me to turn off the studio mode. And then I say, you know what? I never really figured out that stuff that I was trying to figure out and experimenting with all these things this morning. So I said, I don't really understand how transitions work. And that's a technique in this OBS software where you can have, like the fade or the swipe kind of thing. And I say, as I'm writing out the question, some light bulbs go off in my head and I realize, oh, this must be what it is. And it basically says, yes, you're correct in your assumption. This is how it works. This is what you can do. Here's all the techniques, and here's a practical example. So in the future, if I want to do that, I will. And then I say the last thing, I need to figure out when to start talking. Because if I start talking right when I hit go live, my words are cut off. And I did a little test on the second day where I counted down from 10, and I learned that it was about 5 seconds of delay. So since then, I just count silently to 5, and they say, yes, that's a very common practice when doing lives. And so you count down to 5 mentally and then start speaking. And then I say, you know what? And what I'm doing here is I'm doing things step by step with ChatGPT. And that's another really powerful technique, is doing it in a progression. Again, it's like you're conversing with a friend or your brainstorming buddy, your dialoguing partner. You're just dialoguing with them. And I'm breaking it up into steps instead of overloading it with too many details and too many questions at once. That's like the person who comes to you and fires off 3 to 5 questions at you at once, and you're just like, okay, wait. Let's answer the first question first. That's what you want to do with ChatGPT. So it answered that question about not speaking right away in the beginning. It confirmed my assumption, count to 5 mentally, and then start speaking. And then I said, you know what? Now that I think about it, I realize when I go back to review the recordings, I'm still talking when it's over. So I mentioned that too. It's the same thing for at the end, and it says yes. And I even format the question wrong here. I say, and when I view my recordings after, I seem to get cut off. Do I count to 5 after stopping recording too? And it says yes, counting to 5. But it corrects me in a very diplomatic way. It says yes, counting to 5 after you stop talking, but before you stop the recording is a great practice. So what I'm going to do as we wrap up this video is when I'm all done, I'm just going to stop talking for 5 seconds, and then I'm going to stop the recording. And it's going to probably be a nice, smooth transition. So if you enjoyed that tour, give this video a big thumbs up, please, and subscribe to my channel for future tips and future tours like this. We're going to go through every aspect of AI so you can understand it enough to utilize it in daily life. And that is what I really encourage you to do. Go ahead and try it out. Just try it out right now. If you're thinking of something that you could chat with about it, go ahead and try it out right now. And if not, just, again, have your radar turned on. Have your mind open for anything that is something that is kind of puzzling you. Anything that you're struggling with. So again, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share this with others, and help me help others surf this awesome wave of AI instead of being crushed by it. We want everybody to be on top of this as things are changing. We want all of our friends to be understanding. We have a tremendous amount of change coming up here in the next 5 to 10 years. So any friend that you can help start playing with these tools, you are giving them a great great blessing. And you're helping me out too, so I appreciate it. So this is Jim. You can contact me at jim@productiveandhappy. And again, thumbs up, subscribe, and comment below. Comment below with any questions, anything that any obstacles that you're coming up with, or any tools that you're really liking, any experiences that are really memorable that are helping you. All right, enjoy. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow. One.